After a lot of research, I think I have found the best combination of henchmen in the game, and with them I'm able to take down the hardest combats and combatants with relative ease. These guys are not only strong on their own, but also synergize with each other and become an absolute wrecking crew when together. Sadly, not all henchmen are created equal. If that was the case, we could have just picked whichever one we find visually appealing. And even though you can research stat increases to make them stronger, they're still not as good as the others in what they do, and mostly what they do is beat up the other agents, especially super agents. One final word on the henchman missions, just a quick recap. You should always finish them as soon as you start them. A lot of these missions come with special events that will pop up, and if they're not taken care of quickly, will quickly drain your money and generate a ton of heat. As such, you should always be prepared to take them on. And by preparation, what I mean is finish all the research that you can, try to get to 300 minions, and have them trained and of course have a decent reserve of cash to take care of those missions as soon as possible. Now, to the meat and potatoes, here's my list of favorite henchmen and how to use them in the order I recommend that you get them. Number 1 is Iris. I recommend you get Iris as your first henchman. That is because her second ability is able to summon your guards, and all you need to have is for them to enter it for 1 second and reinforcements will be on the way. All the guards that were in the guard room will be alerted. She is one of the most durable henchmen, and with her first ability increasing her armor and letting her regenerate over 100 health, and all of her attacks being ranged, so this means even when the reinforcements arrives and enemy is surrounded by your melee fighters, she can still do damage, and her damage is nothing to scoff at. On average, she does about 50 to 40 damage a shot, depending on the rank of the agent. The second henchman I recommend that you take is Jubei. He is the strongest damage dealer. He can teleport, so if there's a sudden fight, you can always just teleport him there and activate his first ability that increases his already high damage. He's not the tankiest, but he's not the squishiest either. He just does the most damage per second I've seen so far. The third I would recommend is Eli Barracuda Jr. He has a very strong first ability that gets him a 6-charge ranged attack that does a lot of damage. His Smooth Talk ability, Silver Tongue ability, also helps you to peacefully send the agents on their way, which is quite good for clearing the casino before a major fight, or just to spam it in general to get rid of the agents. The fourth one that I recommend you to take is Fugu Furukawa. This geisha makeup wearing assassin cook is just great. Not only can her first ability do 100 damage to any enemy before any kind of combat, her fighting skills are way above average of other henchmen, and her second skill, used right, can turn battles completely. And the way you use it right is by using on clustered enemies, and it's basically a poison gas grenade that also stuns all the enemies within it, so that nobody is able to do damage there except the grenade. I don't think the grenade itself has any friendly fire, so use it as much as you want. Dr. Magnolia Ling. This is the support henchman I recommend getting last because she is best when she has allies around her and she has no way of calling her allies. Her first ability is a long cooldown poison gas that chases enemies and drains their health. It does not hit friendlies as long as there is combat, but when the combat is over, it will chase the friendlies. And her second ability is a healing gas that travels to the person with lowest HP. But be careful, because it also heals and targets enemies as well. So you will want to use this ability behind your lines at the start of combat, so that way your minions are taking damage, it can heal you up, or towards the end of the combat so you can heal up and turn the tide of the battle. This is the team that has thus far made all the engagements a cakewalk. It takes some practice to learn how to use them, especially all together, but when you do, they can get you through anything. And I mean anything, including the Agent X termination mission. Well, let's go back to scheming, and I'll see you next time.